Welcome back to Mexico News Network. Now we have excellent information coming up for you right ahead, but before, let me remind you where we are in the beautiful El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Charisma, the heart of the Riviera Maya, and also keep informed by following us on social networks and logging onto our website on www.mexiconewsnetwork.com. Now for today's show, we have something very special for you. We have our special guest, Mexican filmmaker, originally from the beautiful city of Cancun in the state of Quintana Roo, Diego Lomelín. Diego, welcome.
Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. Now, Diego, he's only 26 years old. He's a filmmaker from Cancun and has great projects in store for us. Now, today, Diego, talk to me a little bit about your latest project.
Well, my latest project is called Indigo. It's a short film I made recently this year. We finished it in April, around April, and we had the fortune of being selected in the short film corner at the Cannes Film Festival this year. So we went there with my crew. It was an amazing experience, a great showcase for my work and for everyone's work, you know. And it's a section of the festival which is mainly for short films. So we had the privilege to go there, and we showcased the film there. We had great comments, and it's been a wonderful experience, and thanks for that. I'm here sitting with you.
Excellent. Now, your movie, your short film, Indigo.
Yeah.
How was that? Tell me a little bit how you created that, from the moment you thought of the idea, the entire production process, up until the moment you were sitting in front of the screen in Cannes and looking at your work displayed. How was that?
It was an incredible journey, a long journey. It took me over a year to finish it, actually. Since I first wrote the script, I actually wrote it on the plane from Cancun to Mexico, because I live there. And well, I wrote it, I showed it to some friends, and it started growing. I wanted to just do it because for me it's, well, the story is about a painter and his cathartic process. But for me it's that, you know, it's like I'm the painter and the painting is the short film. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why people, when they read it and they thought it was very honest, and they jumped into the boat. And I mean, I started just with the idea. I wanted to do it with my Canon 7D, which is a small camera, and we ended up using a crane and a red one and shooting it at 5K, which was amazing. You know, 5K. So, well, the process, it's been, like I said, a long journey, a lot of people involved, very talented people. We shot it in 2 days, just 2 days, but we first shot the first day the exterior part in Ajusco, Mexico, and then 2 months later we shot the interior part in the basement of the Carlos Lazo Theater, which is in UNAM in Mexico City. But like I said, it's a story about a painter and his process of trying to put into a painting all of his memories, all of his good memories, all of his bad memories also, and it's like his process of healing, you know, out of something bad, and he makes something beautiful.
Wow, incredible.
Like,
and what was the feeling, tell me, what you felt when you were sitting in Cannes and looking at your work? What was going through your mind, through your heart? What happened there?
I'm going to use a word that I've been using a lot lately. It's overwhelming. That's the only thing I can say. I mean, I've always wanted to do movies, no? Ever since I was like 11 years old, I got my first Handycam, and I started shooting everything. My brother played football, so I always was the video guy, and I've always wanted to do movies. And the Cannes Film Festival is a festival that I've always also watched, and I think it's one of the most prestigious festivals in the world. So being able to be there and showing your work, which is a produce of a lot of work of a lot of people, you know, it's an amazing feeling. It's like the beginning of my career, you could say, because this is the first short film I make out of like these proportions. So the only thing I can say is, again, overwhelming. You know, it's a wonderful experience, and also it has gave me like hunger, you know, for creating more and more interesting projects, and hopefully do this for the rest of my life.
Wow, that's incredible. That's great to hear. Now, tell me a little bit more, Diego, about the challenges, about the movie. Let's focus on the movie for 1 second. What were the greatest challenges of working with the people? You said it, you did it in 2 days, but those were probably the most.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of luck, you know. We were very lucky, but of course, like in every production, first of all, the money, you know, getting the money to make it. It was kind of harsh, but a lot of people believed in me and the idea, and the whole experience. So again, we were very lucky. But for example, when we shot the first day, the idea was to shoot it a month later, but the location that we had, something happened and we couldn't shoot it there. So I spent a whole month looking for another location that I wanted, that was very specific. I had very specific characteristics. So we were able to get it. So that was one of the first challenges we had. And also after, you know, I had to work. So this wasn't just the only thing I was doing. So, you know, being able to edit and find the people, and, you know, the musicians who made it, they are very well known, and also they had very busy schedules. So, you know, that was one of the biggest challenges. That's why we took so long in making it. But again, I think everything that is a challenge, when you finally get it, the taste is beautiful now. So I'm very proud.
Wow. So you're saying practically the greatest challenge was organizing the people.
Yes, and being like the head of the whole team. It was the first time I've ever done that. So yeah, it was a huge challenge. But I think, you know, everything that you live in your life prepares you for what's next. So that's the way I feel about this project.
And how do you feel about what is coming?
Well, I'm very, very excited, you know, because there's a lot of projects. My head is spinning a lot ever since the whole Cannes thing. But I think, well, I'm prepared to do something, for example, here in my state, which is Quintana Roo, a place that is beautiful. We all know, that's why we're here. But I will also like to bring something to this place that is not just tourism, you know. There's culture, there's art, there's a lot of talented people, and I would love to see Cancun as a place of that, you know, of culture. We are having now the Riviera Maya Film Festival, so I think it's a good time of now, you know,
to make something.
Exactly, to make something good out of this beautiful place, you know, and shoot more movies here. And of course, I would love to show it, for example, Indigo. I would love to have a presentation here in my hometown. So
of course,
yeah,
of course, incredible. Now, tell me a bit about your process to get to Cannes, to the film festival. How this is for our readers and our viewers that are also like you, young, enthusiastic, and want to do something and project their messages through movies. How was the process for getting into Cannes?
First of all, you have to have a good idea. You know, you have to have a good idea, and then arrange the right kind of people, talented people who will live in you. Then when you finish it, well, I actually finished it on April, and we got into Todos Santos Film Festival, which was the first festival where we showed it. And then right after that, I finished the credits, and the deadline for the festival, for the short film corner, was the 31st of March. And that day I sent it. So you just have to log in online, and there are platforms like Without a Box or Fest Home where you can upload your project and then like make a, you know, like a profile, and then in that platform you can send it to a lot of festivals, no? But especially Cannes, you just have to pay your tuition and have a good project, believe in it, and believe in yourself, of course.
Of course.
And just go for it, you know, you never know. And the Short Film Corner is a place specific for short films. So if you have a short film, the best thing to do is just send it there. If it's your first or your second project, that's what they are looking for, you know. They want young filmmakers who are starting in this business and who want to have like a platform to show it to people around the world, because there are over 1,000 short films selected every year out of 8,000. So you never know. Just send it.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
So how did the people in France receive you?
Well,
the people in Cannes and in France, how was that for? Because your team is made up of
Mexicans.
Only Mexicans.
Only one Spanish. The director of photography he's Spanish.
But the rest are Mexican.
Yes, and we
how
have
many? Sorry, how many are in your team?
Around like 20-something people.
All Mexican.
Yeah.
Wow.
With actors and staff and everything. But well, we showed it there to a selected group of people, which are all in the media, in the film industry, and we had I mean, I cannot be more happy. The comments were incredible regarding the editing, the selection of the actors, also the sceneries that we used. They never thought it was Mexico, for example, because it's like a forest, and we have forests in Mexico. It's not all Caribbean.
Yeah.
But it was great, great comments, and just an amazing experience, overwhelming again.
Cool. I'm very happy to hear that, and it's all happening to you at such a young age, and you're originally from Cancun. That's probably what excites me the most.
I'm the first guy from Cancun to get a work in Cannes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Very proud.
So now let's talk a little bit about Indigo as a short film and the actual content of Indigo. I mean, I've read, of course, the movie's not out yet.
Yes.
I've looked for it everywhere, but couldn't find it. But what can you tell us about the inspiration behind Indigo? What moved you to get this idea and one day wake up and say, I have to make Indigo?
Well, first of all, like I said, for me, it's also a cathartic process. I finished a relationship which was at that moment the most important, and I felt that I had to say something honest, to do something honest out of my gut, So that was the first inspiration, a real thing that happened to me, Then I don't know, I did a lot of research. There's a lot of filmmakers that I admire, like Javier Dolan, he's Canadian. He's aesthetically, I think, one of the biggest inspirations. Also Lars von Trier, and Alfonso Cuarón, all directors that inspire me as of their aesthetics and the way they tell stories. And I don't know, especially just like my own feelings and my own need to tell this story, which is about love, about what happens after love, and how we can, like overcome that, and leave something beautiful out of something not so beautiful, which is the process of letting go.
And the healing.
And the healing process, exactly.
Do you think in some way Indigo was a healing process for you?
Definitely, yeah, totally. And that was the main idea of making it. I said like, I want to get over this, and of course it was a great process, and now I can say that that chapter of my life is closed. It has brought me a lot of joy and everything, but yeah, it's definitely closed. Yeah.
Good. Why Indigo? Not the content. The name Indigo. Why?
Well, indigo is a tone of blue, which is the deepest tone of blue, kind of like this. So the feelings that the painter has are very, very deep, very from his gut and his inside. So that gives me an idea of that. Also, there's a song that I really like of Nina Simone, which is called Mood Indigo, which Mood Indigo, in the whole culture, the color blue is like very much, you relate it to sadness and to melancholy and those kind of feelings, which are the feelings that the painter has. And also, the blue period of Picasso was a big inspiration because he used those kinds of palettes of colors. And the paintings are very like mellow and like sad and kind of that, which is the feel of the short film.
That fun exhausting
Exactly,
sometimes
yeah,
feeling,
sometimes.
right?
Which
But
we all have.
which we all have. One thing I now you mentioned that blue was the color of melancholy and sadness and all of this. Do you think melancholy and sadness are needed for happiness?
I think so, yeah. Especially for creating art, I think, at least for me, they are very, very much, feelings that I yearn, actually, and that I look for to making it something beautiful. But yeah, we all feel that, and I think definitely it's very, very
Part of the
necessary.
process.
Yes, part of the process.
Cool. And another question I have, which has a lot to do with your projects, with Indigo, with your personal. We had some time to talk before the interview. What is beauty for you? What is the authentic meaning of beauty to you? I don't want to bias your question, but
No.
what's beauty?
Well, it's a great question. I think beauty is everywhere. You can see it everywhere. We are in a beautiful place, right now, in the Caribbean, beautiful scenery. But also beauty is, I think it's inspiration, first of all. It's like a way of inspiring us, It's something that is not only in the physics of a person, but also in the way you dress, in the way you show yourself to the world. And also, I think beauty, I have a very Greek idea of beauty, in the male figure, in the female figure. So yeah, I think I'm very Greek in that way.
Cool. That's great to hear. Now, before we go, let me, tell you, and also I would like to know, your movie and your project is very different from anything any Mexican directors have done, like Cuarón or Del Toro or, even Reigadas. They always portray different. Why do you think this is? Is this because you are from a new wave of generation, or it's different just because, or?
I think, yeah, well, of course I know these directors that you mentioned, and of course I admire their work. But yeah, I think now the new generations are having a lot of influences, YouTube and internet and all of that opens up, the idea. And I think exactly, everybody knows Mexico as something, and I wanted to break that. I wanted to, move and also get out of my comfort zone as well. So again, one of the biggest inspirations for this particular work is Javier Dolan, and his aesthetics are very, very important to me. So also he's Canadian, so I think it's very inspired in that, But yeah, I would say definitely it's part of the new generations that we are trying to get out of the mold and try to explore new areas maybe and get out of our comfort zone. Yeah.
Incredible. That's great to hear. A young Mexican talented artist like yourself breaking stereotypes and doing something different from what we are all used to. And just to finish off, when and where can we see Indigo?
Yeah, well, right now, like I said, we are still in the process of sending it to a lot of festivals. Hopefully it's going to be a year of touring, exactly. And right after that, I'm planning on showing it here in Cancun and in this area around December, I think. And after that, after probably January or February next year, I'm gonna upload it, and I want everyone to see it. That's the idea of making movies, And but yeah, since this is my first project, I have to show it first in the festivals and trying to get attention from that sector of the population. And then after that, again, I'm gonna show it everywhere. I want everyone to see it and to relate to it, and hopefully like it. If not, also, no, not everyone likes it. So
well, art moves for bad or worse or better.
You're right.
Art moves.
You're right.
You know, so here, I can't wait to see it. I mean, I saw the teaser, but I definitely want to see the finished product.
You can check the teaser also in our Facebook page and in Twitter also at Indigo Corto, which is the direction. And there's a link to our Facebook page and my Twitter as well at Diego Lomelín. And you can see the teaser and hopefully comment there if you like it or not. And then stay in touch and see when we upload it and hopefully give us some comments and feedback.
Excellent. I'm sure they will all be great and positive. And if not, you can learn. We can all need to learn. That's the main thing. Thank you so much, Diego, for being with us today. And we will definitely keep in touch. We'll definitely be seeing more of you, hopefully.
Hopefully.
At a broader level. And sadly, this was all for today. We'll be very much looking forward to hearing more about Diego and his projects. And before we go, remember to follow us. On our website, we'll have the interview right there, and we will also have more information about upcoming projects where Mexico is involved, of course, in the arts and in the culture, which is very important. Mexico's doing a great deal in the artistic and cultural world. But before we go, let me also remind you that we are shooting from the beautiful El Dorado Royal Spa Resort by Charisma. Anything you want to add before we go?
Thank you to the whole crew, Jimena Cuaron, David Liles, Catamarin, Nicolas Cruz Parker, Israel Rodriguez, and everyone involved in this project. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you guys in Mexican News Network for believing in me and for this interview.
You're very much welcome. Thank you for being with us, and thank you, our viewers at home, for joining us today. We will be seeing you next time.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.